Let's talk about Superstars of Wrestling. They're going to interrupt a Brother Love segment with Sergeant Slaughter. This is from the reader pages to, I guess, issue maybe a WWF apology about the Iraqi comments of Sergeant Slaughter and how they're pulling for our troops in Desert Storm. And this all airs during a same episode where you're doing this Brother Love show segment. And some markets saw the promo that we're seeing here, and some aired the apology. Were you just having to make that decision market by market? Or did you send tapes of both to the television stations and they decided, or what the hell happened here?
They were given the choice.
Okay.
So they had the option. We let them know what was in it. We sent them to them ahead of time. And then we sent them if you feel this is inappropriate, you can air this.
Is it true? I mean, around this same time, there were a lot of house shows that were on the books that were supposed to be Randy Savage versus Warrior matches, but Savage is going to be out with a thumb injury. So now they're going with Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter. And, well, other matches are Slaughter Duggan, and sometimes we would get Duggan versus Adnan. But it's written that occasionally building managers would want no part of this, feeling like this was too big of a threat and the violence may be too big of a risk. Do you remember there being problems at building?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, there were problems at every level. Yeah.
Okay.
There were problems at every level. There were definitely building managers that felt, yeah, I don't want the risk in my building. Now, again, we were footing the bill because every single, every event, concerts, sporting events, they all had the same issue, that they were targets. Now, you add to that, hey, and we have an event that is portraying an Iraqi sympathizer against, whoever appearing at the building. That increases in people's minds. They don't look at it as entertainment. They look at it, I got a Styx concert coming in here, and I'm getting threats, bomb threats on something. I got, Sergeant Slaughter and Adnan LKC coming in, and you ought to imagine the calls they're getting. So, yeah, it was a very, very difficult time.
Just imagine that. Like, I know that this isn't real and this isn't something that happens now, but it's hard for me to imagine, like, you bring all the tractor trailers in, you got all the crews in, people are setting up the lighting and the staging, and this cast of characters, the circus pulls up with all these bigger than life costumes and people are getting ready. Then the building manager in some random town says, yeah, we can't have that match. Like, that's just, wow, a different era for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It was also a different era when it came to the use of Sherry, because Warrior is going to be working with Randy Savage in some of these house shows where he doesn't have the thumb injury or he's okay enough to go. And one of the things they do with Sherry is in this cage match, she winds up getting stripped down to her bra and panties. And I guess there's some ladies and some moms in the audience who aren't thrilled with that. They brought their kids to the show. Now here's this scantily clad woman running around. This isn't quite Attitude Era stuff, but it wasn't common in this era that you would see at a WWF wrestling show where most moms probably think this is just like cartoon He-Man stuff. There's a lady here in her bra and panties. Do you remember there being any pushback about that? Or was that so far down the totem pole it didn't matter in the scheme of things?
No, there was pushback, and the argument back was, well, she's wearing more than what you would see at any swimming pool and any beach.
Right.
Pretty much anywhere. But the fact that it was a female being stripped down to her underwear.
Yeah.
You got your kids there. I agree with that.
Yeah, we live and learn and we get better. Let's talk about WrestleMania. They go 20 minutes and 24 seconds. Hulk Hogan, our American hero, he overcomes that mean, nasty, evil Sergeant Slaughter. And he gets the win. I think most everybody remembers this pay-per-view more for Warrior Savage. What do you think of them as the main event? I mean, this is, as crazy as it sounds, this is Sergeant Slaughter's only WrestleMania main event. I say crazy because he meant so much to the WWF, but in almost a pre-WrestleMania era. But of all the folks who had a WrestleMania main event, hey, Sarge got one here which is one more than we can say for Ric Flair. What'd you think of Sergeant Slaughter's WrestleMania main event against Hulk Hogan?
Was what it was. It was what it was. And he main evented with, with Hulk Hogan, dropped the championship, and it was all done. So good for him. I mean, he got his main event. I think it was deserved.
There's some new angles that are started right on the heels of WrestleMania. They're doing television tapings in Las Vegas and Reno, where we would see Sergeant Slaughter throw fire at Hulk Hogan to keep the thing going. And Mean Gene would even say something like, Hulk Hogan's been raped. I mean, this is a different era. There's a lot going on here where it's a company in transition, I guess. You see Sherry trying to proposition the Ultimate Warrior. She's getting stripped down to her bra and panties. We've got a fireball here. There was a gun in a promo. I'm not saying it's quite necessarily Attitude Era, but we are certainly taking more risks and trying things, and we'll call it 90, 91, well, really 91 and 92, that maybe we hadn't tried previously. What'd you think of that?
What did I think of what?
Just the evolution of creative.
What did I think of it? Or
a little edgier? Yeah. I mean,
I'm probably one that is always going to be, I like edgy. I like pushing the envelope. Look, you will never know unless you try. And it was an era of trying new things and seeing what stuck and what worked. And some worked, some didn't.
But it was deliberate to take more chances and try new
Sure.
things. We know, thanks to our personal friend John Filippelli, this is your last WrestleMania for a little bit, but I do want to talk about in the fall where a now babyface Sergeant Slaughter is saying he's had a change of heart and maybe he had an epiphany and I want my country back. That was always the plan, right? When you first introduced, yes.
Yeah, I mean, the plan was always to come full circle and to make him a bigger babyface than ever before on the other side of it.
Have I told you what I'm helping people with in my real life? Yeah, I'm helping them save money over at savewithconrad.com. If you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Go get yourself a quick quote. Interest rates have improved, and people are realizing, hey, now's a chance to save some cash. And I'm talking to you, if you're still on the fence about buying a house, we can get you out of that apartment, tell your landlord to kiss your grits, and get you into a brand new house. You can do that with 5% down, with 3.5% down. And yes, there are still no money down options available in 2024. SaveWithConrad.com is your first step. We're going to ask you, hey, where are you now and where would you like to be? And we're going to get you on a path to fit those short-term goals, but really meet the long-term goal that we all want. And that's to appreciate the American dream. The American dream isn't to give 29% of your gross monthly income every month until you die to some banker. No, you want to own that thing for real. Your own piece of land for you and your family, your legacy. And we want to help you get one for yourself at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket. And maybe you've already got a house, but it'd be nice if you could pay a little less. We're routinely finding a way to help our podcast listeners combine all of their debt, and I mean all of it. Credit cards, personal loans, even car payments. Get it into one low monthly payment. Not only is it a better interest rate, it's also a greater tax deduction, but maybe most importantly, a much cheaper payment. We're routinely helping our podcast listeners save $500, $600, $700, even $800 a month. But how much can you save? Find out right now at savewithconrad.com.
You guys, the housing market's really good right now, too, for you folks out there that are thinking of making a change in your overhead or your living conditions. Now's not a bad time to make that move. Nowhere better to do it than savewithconrad.com. He's going to save you money. He's going to be honest. And it's like dealing with a friend, an educated friend. And boy, there's a lot of uneducated and unfriendly people in that world. Conrad Thompson is not one of them.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Jim. Check out our reviews online. You're going to see we've got more than 1,000 5-star reviews. Customer service is what it's all about. We want to be your mortgage advisor for life. So there's no application fee. There's no credit report fee. We just want to talk, man. Hey, tell us where you are and tell us where you want to be, and we'll try to help you get a plan to get there. We want to be your advocate, your humble advocate at savewithconrad.com.
Attaboy, Connie. Look at those cheeks, ladies. Look at those cheeks, ladies and gentlemen. My God.
How could you say no to that, right?
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender.
SaveWithConrad.com.